Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Welcome into a new week, Huskers fans, as we inch closer to the Huskers spring game. Defensive coordinator Eric Chinander met with the media this morning to discuss his team's progress this spring, including the growth Nebraska is seeking from its players.
Yeah, I think the whole crew, has done a lot of good things, and obviously, Nash got some reps last year, and Colton Feast got a lot of reps last year, and the guys that haven't got as many reps, the Mosai Newsoms and Marquise Blacks and Ruquan and Jalen, those are the guys we need to continue to get a little bit more out of as we move forward.
We'll hear more from Coach Chinander in just a few minutes. Elsewhere in Huskers athletics, congratulations to Nebraska men's gymnast Chris Heiser on winning Big Ten Freshman Men's Gymnast of the Year this afternoon. Heiser follows Taylor Christopoulos as the second Husker to earn the award following Christopoulos' win in 2021. Heiser won the Big Ten Freshman of the Week award 3 times this season, competing on the rings and floor events. Joining Heiser in the conference recognition was Captain Dylan King, who received honors for the Big Ten Sportsmanship Award. The Huskers are back at it this Saturday, April 1st and Sunday, April 2nd, as they will compete at the Big Ten Championships at Penn State. In college basketball tonight, the women's NCAA tournament features 2 Elite 8 matchups. UConn and NC State are just about set to get underway. And at 8 p.m., Nas Hillman and Michigan will take on Louisville. In the WNIT tournament, quarterfinals continue today, where Middle Tennessee State women's hoops are just underway against Toledo, followed by Seton Hall and Columbia at 7. The men's NIT tournament has reached the semifinals. We're just underway are St. Bonaventure and Xavier. And later tonight at 8:30, Washington State will meet Texas A&M. NFL owners' meetings are in session today, where the league announced changes to the Rooney Rule, a near 20-year standing rule that was designed and adopted by the NFL to promote diversity in hirings for top positions in football operations, including teams' head coaching positions. The rule requires 2 candidates who are, quote, an ethnic or racial minority to be interviewed for any top open position within a team's football operations, including head coach. As of today, the interviewing of 2 external female candidates will also be considered as fulfilling the Rooney Rule requirements when hiring new football operations staff at the top of each organization. It was also announced today that all 32 teams will hire a, quote, female or member of an ethnic or racial minority candidate to be an offensive assistant coach for the upcoming NFL season. These new hires are required to be included in meetings and work closely with each team's head coach and offensive coaching staff throughout the upcoming year. Additional changes to the rule include Zoom meetings that will also no longer qualify as interviews that suit the Rooney Rule requirements. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-2 from Stracco, and Bredwell swings and lifts it to left and deep, and it's good! A 2-run home run for Ava Bredwell.
The 0-1. Ripped right at the shortstop. Matthews back to second, and it is a double play. They pick off Flores, who had gotten too far off the bag.
Andrews swings and hammers this one deep right field and gone! A rocket halfway up the bleachers in right field for a home run.
The 3-2 pitch. That's ripped into center field. That's a base hit. It's a gapper in the left center field. Chick scores. Anderson around third, being waved home. The relay throw to the plate, not in time, and the Huskers have taken a 2-1 lead.
Ibarra swings and hits this one high in the air. Deep right field, and it's gone! Ibarra and Andrews go back to back.
Hit on the ground to second, might be 2. Second base 1 on to short. Matthews relay throw to first in time, and C.J. Hood, the freshman, gets a double play ball and gets the Huskers out a little bit of danger here in the top of the 6th inning.
And Gray swings and blasts it deep right field. It's gone! It's gone! Sidney Gray with a 3-run home run.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Husker football will be out on the field. How about that? We're that close to the spring game for Nebraska football. So it's not that far away, 11 days away, 12 days away. How about that? Going to be fun. Welcome to another week of Sports Nightly. I'm Greg Sharpe. Jessica Coody actually has a couple of days off, a well-deserved couple of days off for Jessica, so you just have me with you tonight. We're going to talk some football this hour. Eric Chinander met with the media. I know a lot of you have been kind of wondering, what does that defense look like? In my eyes, it's a little bit of an undercovered story in spring ball. Is what What about that defense? What about replacing Doman and Stilley and Daniels and Cam Tater-Britt and the two safeties that seem like they played in Nebraska forever? So we're going to do a deep dive into that later this hour. Eric Chenander met with the media today after practice number 10. And number 9, by the way, was Saturday, and it was a full-scale scrimmage. We'll get some reaction from Eric Chenander about what that scrimmage looked like from his perspective coming up here in just a little bit. But practice 10, you get 15, and the spring game is number 15. So there is not much left of spring football for the Big Red, but we are counting it down, getting close to that game coming up on April the 9th. Our pregame coverage, by the way, a little shameless promotional plug here. It will be at 11 a.m. We'll have a 2-hour pregame leading into the spring game. Jeremiah will be a part of it. Jessica will be a part of it. Of course, Matt Davis will join me in the booth for kickoff for that game in just a couple of weeks. So some spring football chatter coming your way here in just a little bit. We now have a Final Four set, and boy, it is as blue blood can be for the Final Four that'll be getting going later this week. On Saturday, you've got Kansas, Duke, North Carolina, and Villanova. 4 premier programs have made their way to the Final Four. Really disappointing for those of us who love great, tight games. The Elite Eight was basically either blowouts, which is what Kansas, Duke, and Carolina did, or just kind of an ugly game to the eyes for Villanova-Houston. That was not a very aesthetically pleasing game to watch, 50-44. The Cats win it over a scrappy Kelvin Sampson-coached Houston team. And so now Villanova and Kansas, this will be a repeat of a semifinal from a couple of years ago. And remarkably, you probably have heard this 1,000 times, but remarkably, the first time ever, Duke and Carolina are going to play in the tournament against each other. So a wild Final Four coming up in a couple of days. Tim told you that the women will have their Final Four set later tonight. 2 teams are already in. They're about ready to start another Elite Eight battle with UConn and NC State about ready to tip it off. We'll keep you posted on that as you go through. What do you make of this Final Four? Last week I was kind of beating my chest. I said I had all 4 of my Final Four teams left after the first weekend. I only have 1. I had Kansas making the Final Four. That's it. I did not. I had Arizona. I had UCLA. I had Gonzaga. And I had Kansas. So Kansas is the only one I have left, but I didn't have Kansas winning it. I had Gonzaga winning it. So my bracket basically is done at this point. And my guess is for a lot of you, your brackets are done too, because probably very few of the teams that you picked are still left in this thing. But it has been a great theater, as it always is. If you'd like to talk about that, we certainly want to get your thoughts on it at 402-413-2400. You can dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We have the text line up and ready and running as well. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse, first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Hour number 2 tonight, we will hear from Will Bolt. It's our Nebraska baseball show. Huskers got the weekend off to a really good start with a convincing win Friday night over Michigan. 13-9 was the final. Huskers had the big lead. Kind of pitched off in the 9th inning, gave up a couple runs, but were in total control of that game on Friday night. And you felt like, great, this is going to be a nice start to conference play. They're going to win the series. The Saturday game was, as I kept kind of saying in the broadcast, bit of an uphill climb. They never really led, but they kept kind of getting it tied, and then Michigan would grab a lead. Nebraska rallied with those 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. You felt like they had all the momentum. But Michigan pushed across 2 runs in the top of the 9th and won 8-6. And then yesterday was what we've seen really far too often from this team, and that is a bit of an uninspired effort by this group. And I know everybody kind of gets focused on the pitching, and that certainly has its issues right now. But I'll be honest, I'm more concerned about the offense and the lack of consistency from the offense. This is a team hitting .242 as a team right now, and you're a third of the way through this season, a little bit past the 1/3 point of this season, and this group just is not day in and day out, at bat after at bat, putting together very good at bats and good offensive performances, and it's concerning. And then they're not seeing a lot of great pitching. Michigan, to me, is a team that's really good offensively. They're okay on the mound, but not dominant. And yet Nebraska just could not get much going, and they lose yesterday 6-1, lose the series to Michigan, and now are underwater in the league at 1-2. They will play Creighton tomorrow night up in Omaha. The Blue Jays have been red hot. They had won 9 in a row before getting beat yesterday by Wichita State. So that'll be a big challenge. And then it's off to Ohio State for the Big Red for a 3-game series against the Buckeyes, who look a lot like Nebraska, to be honest with you. They're underwater with their record. They seem to be scraping along and not having much consistency with their season as well. A lot of teams in the Big Ten kind of like that. And what's really the challenge for Will Bolt and this team in the next 2 months is try to be the best of those teams that try to find their way. Find your way first. Find yourself. Discover what you want to be and play to that ability. And I think that'll be a key for Nebraska to try to get themselves going a little bit. But I know we've had great crowds. I feel great for the teams, or for the team to be out and playing in front of those many folks. And I couldn't believe it yesterday. We played that game yesterday, 33 degrees at game time. It was cold at Haymarket Park yesterday, and there was a really good crowd at the ball game yesterday to support the Huskers, and they just can't seem to find the spark or some consistency with what they have to have winning baseball going on day after day, weekend after weekend. There's still time to get this thing kind of flipped around, but again, as I mentioned, you're past the 33% point of this season. You've really got to try to find the on switch and keep it going for Husker baseball. So if you have some thoughts about that, maybe you're out at Haymarket Park for one of the games over the weekend. Love to hear your take on that as well. Husker softball did have a tremendous weekend. Cut short, but a tremendous weekend. They went to Ann Arbor to play one of the traditional powers in the Big Ten in softball, and that's Michigan. Nebraska swept the doubleheader on Friday. They could not get in Game 3 because of bad weather Saturday and Sunday. They certainly tried. They kept kind of delaying start times to see if they could get above the real field temperature of 28 degrees is what you have to play either a baseball or softball game in conference. They couldn't ever get the thermometer to click over the top of that, so they couldn't get Game 3 in, but they leave Ann Arbor 2-0 in league play, playing really good softball. Rhonda has that team at 21-9. They're back home tomorrow. Tim also mentioned in the ticker they've moved that from a 5 o'clock start to a 4 o'clock start. There is some rain in the forecast for tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening, so they're going to try to beat the raindrops. They'll play Creighton as well, but at Bolin Stadium. So a good chance to get out and see them either tomorrow or this weekend. They are home this weekend with Rutgers coming to town for a 3-game series against the Husker softball team. So Nate Rohr is going to join us later on in this hour. We'll talk about a team that it just continues to hammer the softball. A lot of home runs for this team. It makes you a little nervous because at some point in time, sometimes those drop off. You don't get those. But, man, it's been fun while it is going so far, 21-9, and off to a great start with 2 huge wins over Michigan, who would certainly be a team picked toward the top of the conference, and to beat them on their home field, really a great accomplishment for Husker softball. So Nate will join us a little bit later on in the hour as well. Again, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you'd like to fire off a text, you certainly can do that. We got a text in for us about, hate to ask this question, but anyone has not talked about or heard about the medical status of Kyle Perry. Maybe Coach Bolt will have the latest on that tonight in his show. When I asked that question earlier over the weekend, the answer was it's not good. So what that means season ending. I would guess yes, but we'll get a clarification from the head coach during his show coming up in hour number 2. Again, 402-413-2400. We're back to play some clips from Eric Chenander's press gathering after practice number 10 for the Huskers. That's coming up next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next-level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Osceola Implement in Osceola, Nebraska, your locally owned Massey Ferguson dealer, proud supporters of the Huskers and Nebraska farmers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections. When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hi, it's Nick Luxinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-740-6445 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe with you here on a Monday night. Again, Will Bolt will be with us in hour number 2, our Nebraska baseball show. Huskers will play in Omaha at Schwab Ballpark in downtown against the Creighton Blue Jays tomorrow night at this time. You'll have Nick Hanley, Ben McLaughlin for the call tomorrow night. I'm going to sit tomorrow night out. Maybe that'll change the luck for the Huskers a little bit. All right, practice number 10 for the Huskers in the books today. Practice 9 was Saturday, and it was a scrimmage for the Big Red. They do usually 2 scrimmages and then obviously have the spring game on the 9th. And the second scrimmage is kind of the big one. It's really where they go all out. They'll run 120, 130 plays. They'll get a lot of people in. They'll do all kinds of this situational type stuff. So we'll start with the scrimmage. What did Eric Chenander, Husker defensive coordinator, think about the scrimmage from Saturday?
I actually thought it was really good back and forth. There's a couple times where, defense came out hot and offense made a few errors, and then the offense came storming back, and, they had a lot of good plays on us and went down and scored a touchdown, and then we bolted back in. But it was a great back and forth. I thought both sides. The thing I liked about the scrimmage was I thought it was fast and physical on both sides of the football. I didn't see any dumb stuff out there penalty-wise or just guys doing dumb stuff like it's a game. It's not practice now. And then I just thought both sides were operating really good at certain points in time, you know what I mean? And sometimes it was kind of a stalemate, which is okay too, which is good players on good players. But I thought both groups did a really nice job, offense and defense.
So there's the assessment from the defensive coordinator, and I know Eric to be pretty fair when he looks at these things about how it goes. And so it sounds like, yeah, they did some goal line work. They obviously did put the ball at the 20. I'm sure they put the ball at the 50 for short yardage, probably even did a couple of 2-minute drills for the offense. So good to hear him think that went pretty well, really up from both sides of the ball. How about the physicality of the practice? You're only allowed, I think it's 3, maybe 4 of the spring practices can you tackle to the ground. The NCAA really has limited contact in spring to try to avoid injuries to student athletes at this point in time. Coaches don't want that either, but you also have to practice physical a few times. You have to be able to work on your tackling. How about the physical aspect of the workout on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Good to see a lot of guys get out there. Good to see some guys tackle that we haven't necessarily seen tackle a whole bunch. We needed to get some more reps, especially with the younger guys, taking people all the way to the ground. I think our running backs are running real hard right now, so it's a really good practice for us. Also got us in some good situations, some red zone work, some stuff down by the goal line, some third down situations. And I think the kids had a better understanding of those situations after scrimmage number 1, after reviewing the film, moving on to scrimmage 2.
Those comments from Eric Chenander about the physical nature for his defense, working on tackling drills. How do you implement that? How do you work on that when you're not supposed to tackle guys to the ground? Here's the coach.
Yeah, it's not good enough right now. But in spring football, you don't get a ton of shots to tackle live to the ground. We'll get a little bit more work in that, but we can definitely use the work throughout the rest of spring, and then as we move into fall camp, we can definitely use some more tackling work.
All right. I mentioned this in the opening segment. To me, it's one of the more undercovered stories of the spring is this defense missing a lot of big contributors from last year who've graduated and moved on, and guys who are going to be in the NFL, like JoJo Doman, Cam Tater-Britt, Ben Stilley, who was here forever, seemed like along that defensive line. Damian Daniels opting not to take advantage of the COVID year and coming back. What about that defensive front? I know a lot of you have had questions about that. I'm looking at you, Crypto. You guys want to know about that defensive line. Here's the coach with his assessment of what that group has looked like in spring.
I think it doesn't matter what defense you play in, doesn't matter what league you play in. If you don't have good defensive linemen, you'll never be good on defense. So I think those guys are very, very critical in your success, no matter where you're at, if it's high school, whether it's the NFL, whether it's college, whether it's the Big Ten, ACC, SEC, it doesn't matter. Those guys are super, super critical to the success of the defense.
So who's kind of stood out? Are there some veterans or guys who've been with the program for 2-3 years that are starting to emerge as possible playmakers for the Black Shirts next year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Garrett, definitely Nick Henrich. You want to see, Luke Reimer, but he's not able to play, but he's done a nice job from the sideline. I think Ty Robinson inside's done a really good job. Quentin Newsom's done a really good job. I think the Isaac Gifford has done a good job. I don't think he's quite there yet in that leadership role, but he's developing into those types of things. So I see a lot of these guys that are new guys playing with the first team, if you will, really trying to develop themselves. I don't know if we have a clear-cut guy yet, other than Garrett's kind of established himself and Nick, but I think everybody else is doing a really good job in developing that leadership trait.
So leaders on that side of the ball, and absolutely, right now I would say Garrett Nelson's probably the face of this football team, really. I mean, even more so than anybody on offense, because he's someone the fan base identifies with. He's been a guy who's played a lot of football here the last couple of years, and he's certainly a bit of a spokesperson for this team as well. In that secondary, with all those people gone, Miles Farmer is a player that has played some football for the Huskers the last couple of years. He's made plays in that secondary the last couple of years. Where is he, and is the coach seeing some leadership from Miles?
He's handled it great. You hear his voice a lot more. I mean, last year, obviously, with Markel and Deontay and Cam back there, he was doing a really nice job. He was the second guy rotating in. He got a chance to start a few games with Deontay out. This year, I think you've heard his voice. You've heard his leadership a lot more. He feels more comfortable in that position. I think he feels a lot more comfortable just with all his assignments, where now he can really start talking to the other people that are out there with him. And he's also holding some guys accountable, which is really good.
So there's an update on Miles Farmer, who is one of the graybeards. He did mention Quentin Newsom in the earlier clip. That would be another guy in the secondary that is showing some leadership, but also has played quite a bit of football. He started last year opposite Cam Tater-Britt in that offside corner. So there's some clips from the coach. He was asked another question. He says, "Are you comfortable with the defensive lineman right now?" He said, "I think we're comfortable. It's just that we have got to see some separation. Some of those guys go out there and earn their spots moving forward." So there's Eric Chenander meeting with the media earlier today. Mike Dawson also met with the media today and basically just said that, he goes, "We're going through some growing pains along that defensive line. Casey Rogers has not been able to compete in spring. He's out with an injury. He's taking mental reps." You hear that from coaches all the time, right? He's standing on the sideline, so he's taking mental reps. So he's there. He's part of it. And we know Casey's a good football player, and that's, he'll be ready to roll in August, so that's good. Nash Hutmacher, the polar bear, has got some snaps late in the season. I think he's having a good camp up front. Mosai Newsom met with the media today. Mosai's been in the program 3 years. We've hardly seen him on the field, but it's because all the depth that Nebraska's had up front, there just weren't snaps to get him out there in play. But I'm hearing he's having a good name. Mosai's from Iowa. Mosai's got the biggest hands I think I've ever seen on a human being. Just huge hands, which is good because then you can grab those offensive linemen and twist them around a little bit. So Mosai Newsom is a guy I think keep an eye on the name for that. All right, so Huskers off tomorrow. Practice again on Wednesday. Offensive coordinator Mark Whipple will meet with the media on Wednesday to talk about and probably get his view of what the scrimmage looked like for the offense last Saturday in the scrimmage. I'll tell you, folks, they get a lot more out of that scrimmage than they're going to get out of the spring game. They just will, because they ran their actual stuff. I've made this comment before. Spring games are very vanilla, particularly when you're adding a lot of wrinkles to the offense and a new offensive coordinator like Nebraska has this year in Mark Whipple. So that spring game, there are going to be a lot of basic handoffs, basic plays, basic formations, because they don't want to tip their cap at all, particularly when you open with a conference game with Northwestern in August. You don't want to tip off a lot of what you're going to be running in that game. So for the coaches, Saturday was probably a lot bigger than the spring game. There's benefits to the spring game, playing in front of a crowd, going through your game day routine, running through that tunnel. There certainly are benefits that you get from that game that you can't simulate in a practice. Fans being there, 50, 60,000, whatever the number is going to end up being. But as far as running formations, running different schemes, you're not going to do much in that spring game because it's on TV. Northwestern's going to be watching, going to try to pick up what they can off of that so that they can be better prepared for the Husker game in late August in Dublin, Ireland. So there you go. There's There's some clips from Eric Chenander here on Sports ID. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and, of course, it's the law. We'll talk some Huskers softball coming up next. Nate Rohr will join us. He was in Ann Arbor to watch the Huskers sweep a doubleheader Friday from the ultra-talented Michigan Wolverines. That's coming up next.
Start your car buying journey today at Woodhouse Ford and experience the difference. Discover a new era in the 2022 Ford Edge. The seamless integration of power, performance, and technology allows you to feel confident on the road. Place a custom order today and design an Edge that meets the demands of your lifestyle. Plus, shop online anytime at woodhouseford.com or visit us in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month. Your last chance to save big on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But get moving, offers are ending soon. Get to the final days of Ford Truck Month. Maverick has limited availability. See dealer for inventory stock.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Sends home the 1-1 pitch. Everett hammers one to deep left center field. Backing up is Ryan. He's to the track. He leaps, and he can't make the play as he crashes into the wall. Banjoff scores easy. Scoring is Anderson. Cruising into third is Griffin Everett.
Tomorrow, Huskers baseball heads up I-80 to take on Creighton at 6:30 p.m. Central. Huskers Radio Network pregame coverage begins at 6 p.m. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
And Burkhart grounds to second. Ibarra charges, flips to first in time. And Nebraska storms into Ann Arbor and sweeps a doubleheader from 19th ranked Michigan. They win the nightcap 7-4.
Nebraska softball renews its in-state rivalry with Creighton tomorrow at Bowlin Stadium. Pre-game at 3:50. First pitch at 4 on the Huskers Radio Network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
The best parts of an SUV and pickup truck come together in the all-new 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz. This up-for-anything sport adventure vehicle gives you modern convenience and uncommon freedom with the open bed of a pickup truck. Plus, when you shop Hyundai, you'll benefit from Hyundai Owner Assurance with America's Best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Find yours online at woodhousehyundai.com or in-store off 144th and Giles Road during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Nothing goes better with Husker sports than Fairbury. Fairbury, premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. The highest quality beef, pork, and natural spices give you the best tasting hot dog and your hometown favorite Big Red hot dog. Look for Fairbury hot dogs all year long at your local grocery store. Fairbury, the official hot dog of the Huskers and Nebraska fans everywhere.
At Great Western Bank, they understand what commitment to community means. It's more than setting up shop. For Great Western Bank, commitment means growing together and serving their communities. With more than 50 locations in Nebraska, they are dedicated to making life great. Thank you, Lincoln, for allowing them to be a part of this great community. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Head baseball coach Will Bolt will be with us in hour number 2, our weekly baseball show. Huskers coming off the weekend series loss to Michigan. The Husker softball team went to Ann Arbor and took 2 games from the nationally ranked Wolverines, and the guy on the call for that joins us now, Nate Rohr, who just got back, I think, late last night. Was your flight on time, Nate? How was everything up there?
Yeah, mercifully, the flight was on time, and considering we hadn't played since Friday night, it was nice that at least the flight was on time, and we were able to get home in fairly good shape. We got back to Omaha about 11 last night, and the team got in 12:30 back to Lincoln, so late end to what was a very good weekend for Nebraska softball.
Boy, I'll say Michigan doesn't lose home conference series, Nate. I mean, that is a rarity, what Rhonda Revelle and that team did.
No question about it. The last time that they had lost a home conference series actually was a pretty notable weekend in Husker softball history. It was 2014,
wow.
And Wisconsin went up to Ann Arbor. The Huskers were in the Big Ten race, and Nebraska needed to beat Indiana, and then they needed Wisconsin to win a conference series up at Michigan so the Huskers could capture a share of the Big Ten title. Well, happily, the Badgers obliged, and the Huskers got a piece of the Big Ten regular season title that year. So, yeah, it happens very, very infrequently. They're very good usually up there, but oddly, Michigan has fallen into a 3-game losing streak at home. They lost to Miami of Ohio last Wednesday, and then they lost the 2 to the Huskers. So for whatever reason, you know, they've just felt a little off to me all year. The pitching has been elite, and it's kind of fallen on harder times lately. But the offense has just seemed to be a little askew for them, which is rare. But still, to go up to Ann Arbor and to beat a team like Michigan, where they've been the standard of the conference for all these years, pretty notable achievement for this Husker team that's trying to win its way back onto the national scene.
Well, speaking of offense, that's not been an issue for the Huskers. This is a team, Nate, that the home run rate has been remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody anticipate the amount of home runs that this team is hitting right now during this part of the season?
I can't imagine they did. I'm sure they thought they would get a good year out of Billy Andrews and, you know, a good year out of Sidney Gray. And Sidney showed out very well in the first half of last year before suffering a knee injury that ended her season just as she was heating up. So I think everybody expected them to be pretty good offensively, or at least improved offensively. But the fact that, I mean, Billie Andrews has 17 home runs. She's already in the top 5, or tied for 5th in school history in terms of home runs in a season. And I mean, Nebraska softball is not a rinky-dink program by any stretch. And so 60% of the way through the season, she's already in the top 5. That speaks to how potent this offense has been. I think she's come into her power really well. I mean, she had a good year last year, but she's just developed, gotten stronger, gotten more comfortable. I think she's a little better protected in the lineup because you've got Gray behind her. You've got Maya Felder, who's really surged lately. It took Maya a couple of weeks. She transferred in from Oregon, and it seemed to take her a couple of weeks to get settled into this lineup, but she settled in just fine. And, I mean, Cam Ibarra's been solid throughout. So you just feel like the top of this order, one is feeding the other, is feeding the other, is feeding the other. And, where last year the offense was so dependent on Tristan Edwards, this year there's some balance to that lineup that I think is just making this a really tough team to pitch to right now.
Sure is. I'm visiting with Nate Rohr here on Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network. Huskers coming off of a 2-game sweep of Michigan, nationally ranked Michigan. Huskers off to a 2-0 start in the league, and now set to be home for a little while. Creighton tomorrow, which, by the way, that game has been moved from 5 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We're expecting some late afternoon rain moving through the area, so they're going to give everybody an extra hour. And then Rutgers comes in for the weekend. Going to be nice to be home, and I'm expecting you to have some pretty good crowds out there, Nate, with this kind of start this team's off to.
Yeah, I hope people are starting to take notice. This team, both kind of here in the state and also on the national softball scene, has kind of flown under the radar, considering the last few years this team's been under 500. But I mean, Nebraska's 21-9. They've played a representatively tough schedule. It's been interesting because this schedule doesn't have much of anything in terms of brand names until this past weekend with Michigan. But it seemed like every weekend Nebraska was playing somebody who was in regionals last year, somebody who was picked to win their conference this year. They didn't win those games up at Northern Iowa, but here the last few weeks they have. And so they put forth a pretty nice resume, and I think they're going to be a factor in the Big Ten race. I think they're a team that looks like a regional team right now. So I think they're worth a look from Husker fans and worth their time because they've turned it around. There's a different attitude around this team. There's a different work ethic around this team. Rhonda Revelle has noted it, that this team has just a good spirit about it and a good fighting, competitive spirit about it, and it's obviously manifested in results.
Well, I know a lot of the focus is on the offense and those eye-popping numbers and nationally ranked numbers and home runs. But if you're not getting some stuff done in the circle, it's not going to matter. Olivia Farrell, Nate, we talked about maybe this team may be overachieving. I don't know that anybody thought Olivia Farrell would be putting the kind of starts together that she has. Give me a kind of a Reader's Digest version of what you've seen from Olivia this year.
Well, I think Olivia's just competing as hard as she has, and she's always been somebody who's been very tough in the circle. But she's been able to take over some games this year. She's striking out people at a rate that she's never really sniffed in her Husker career. And so she's been able to put out a few good starts. And I'll tell you, Courtney Wallace, for her part, has just been so competitive and so such a fighter out there in the circle. And the two of them have kind of traded off being Nebraska's ace. Farrell had, first off, Wallace started, at the Unidome tournament in the first week or so, great. And then Olivia Farrell kind of took over, and she won 10 out of 11
decisions. And then Farrell hit a little bump, but then Wallace reemerged. And then, this last weekend up at Michigan, I mean, Farrell comes out and throws well against the Wolverines, and then Courtney Wallace gives up 4 runs in the first inning. But I got to tell you, they were the softest 4 runs in the history of college softball. I think there was only 1 or 2 hard-hit balls that whole inning. And from there, I think Wallace just buckled down, realized that she was in good shape. They had just been fortunate and gotten a big hit and held the Huskers in there for the rest of the game to where the offense could chip away and break through. But, Farrell and Wallace have both done a good job of keeping this team in games and limiting opposing offenses and not getting rattled by first-inning runs, early runs, trailing early. That doesn't worry them. They shake it off, they lock in, and they seem to find their groove about the third inning every night. And if you can limit an offense and limit the opposing offense, and just hold this team in there, you have faith that Nebraska will be able to come up with enough runs before the end of the night.
All right, buddy, this week, 4 home games. That'll be fun, although I know you're going to step away from the team next weekend, right? You've got some duties here at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, the football boys are going to keep me busy next weekend, so I will leave Husker softball on the trip up to East Lansing in the highly capable hands of our friend and colleague Matt Coatney. And if I could be 2 places at once, I'd be pretty happy about it. But if I've got to stray away from the Husker softball beat for a weekend, I'm pretty comfortable leaving it in Coates' hands because I know he'll do a good job.
Very good. All right, have a great call tomorrow. Huskers in Creighton, 4 o'clock, Bowling Stadium. Nate Rohr, have some fun. This has been a great start. Keep this thing rolling.
Hey, I'd love nothing more than to see that happen. Thanks, Greg.
There he is, Nate Rohr, joining us here on Sports Nightly. He joined us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy it online at woodhouse.com. Back with some more thoughts here in Hour 1. Will Bolt will be here with us in Hour 2. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of it. Give me a shout. We'll talk some Husker sports next.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint.
So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Time to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Mentioned Husker softball tomorrow at Bowling Stadium, 4 o'clock. Coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network, on the Huskers app, Huskers.com, if you want to keep track of that game. Husker baseball will be in Omaha tomorrow night, Schwab Stadium, to take on the Blue Jays. 6:35 first pitch, 6 o'clock for pregame coverage. Nick Hanley, Ben McLaughlin will have the call, and then the Huskers will head to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Buckeyes over the weekend. I'll be with Ben for that. Husker softball will be home with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights coming to Lincoln for games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Weather should be okay this weekend. Get out there and see that team play. They're really fun to watch, and they're just smashing the softball right now, and 21-9 is a really, really good record. That is what is on tap, presented by Bud Light. 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment, a question here on Sports Nightly. Husker football wrapped up practice number 10 earlier today, off day tomorrow, practice 11 on Wednesday. Mark Whipple will meet with the media on Wednesday. We'll have complete coverage of that for you on Wednesday's program to hear his thoughts about the scrimmage that was on Saturday. Again, that's the big scrimmage. That's the one that the coaches will really do a deep dive in film study, and you start to kind of set your two deep when you come out of that thing, because you gave a lot of people opportunities in an inter-squad scrimmage. Everybody's going to get to play a lot, and they got a lot of snaps, a lot of reps to see who maybe is pushing at certain positions along the team. Eric Chenander seemed to think it was a fairly even battle. The offense had some moments. The defense had some moments. That's kind of what you want. You don't want one side dominating the other, because that means you're weak somewhere. You want to have a fairly balanced football team, and it seemed like they had that going for them on Saturday. So we'll hear from Whip on Wednesday to see what's going on with the offensive side as they come through that second big scrimmage, as everybody kind of gets pointed toward the spring game on April the 9th to see this Husker team play at 1 o'clock. When that is going to be happening. Got a text in. I may have missed it if you mentioned a new episode of Kicking Back with the Cooks. I found it today. Hope that the athletic department starts notifying people when a new episode comes out. Good point. It came out on Friday. We will play a little clip for you on Wednesday's show, kind of teasing that, but you can go find that at Huskers.com. The latest episode of Kicking Back with the Cooks. Hey, buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Coming up next hour, we'll talk baseball. The head coach is here. We'll talk to Will Bolt, get his thoughts about the weekend series with Michigan, and then the game tomorrow night with Creighton, and then Huskers will head to Ohio State to take on the Buckeyes over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So get your comments, questions ready for the coach. We'll have him coming up on the other side as we talk ball here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan and experience the difference. Choose your thrill in the all-new 2022 Nissan Murano, Rogue, or Sentra. Safety comes standard, so you can enjoy the ride knowing that Nissan has you covered. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase online or in person at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place. Discover a bold, new direction and drive Nissan.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Traffic's Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Keep yourself and your loved ones healthy by getting your free COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, when you get a COVID-19 vaccine at your Hy-Vee pharmacy between February 1st and April 30th, you can get a 50-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver reward. Talk about savings. Schedule your COVID-19 vaccination appointment today at Hy-Vee.com/COVID vaccine. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for more details.
Live from the Huskers Radio Network, this is the Husker Baseball Show with head coach Will Bolts. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Bernard 0-1. Ripped over the head of the shortstop in left center field. Scoring his Chick. Here comes Max Anderson. Waving around third. Is going to go all the way to the wall. They're waving Griffin Everett home. The relay throw to the plate is not in time. A bases clearing double by Garrett Anglem. And the Huskers have rallied here at home.
Here's the pitch. Jessen hammers one in the air to left center. The center fielder was playing shallow. He's going back, and he burned him. It's going to go to the 403 mark in left center. Everett scores easily. Jessen motoring around second, and he cruises into third with a stand-up RBI triple.
McCarville's pitch lifted to left. Long run for Chick, racing into foul territory. He's there, he slides, he makes a catch, and slides up against the barrier by the berm down the left field line. Terrific play.
1-1, hit well into right field. That's pushing Elliott back. He's still going back, and that ball is gone. Max Anderson gets one out of here to right field.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our baseball show for the week. The head coach with us until the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. Huskers coming off of the weekend series with Michigan. You got it off to a good start with the win on Friday night. And anytime you win on a Friday, you're thinking you're going to get the series win. And I know you're disappointed you didn't.
Yeah, the first 2 days I thought it was a hard fought, back and forth. We showed a ton of heart, competitiveness, and just win the Friday night game. And I mean, it just a lot of emotions, in that game, because it's back and forth. We're down. I mean, you expend a lot of energy coming back in that game, and you get off on the right foot there, and stage you come back again on Saturday, and have a chance to win in the ninth inning, and just didn't go our way. And then Sunday just ran into a pitcher that just really shut us down after the first inning. I thought we had him on the ropes early and had a chance to kind of throw the knockout blow, and knowing where their bullpen was at, it was right there for the taking, but unfortunately we just weren't able to finish it off.
Where is the offense in your eyes right now? I think that I looked at the stats earlier today. You're hitting only, I think, 242 as a team. You're probably disappointed with that number.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's totally unacceptable in terms of batting average. Now, the things that I think are a bit surprising, I really thought this team was going to have a chance to drive the ball a little bit more, hit doubles and hit some home runs, and haven't really consistently done that either. A couple bright spots, I think. The on-base percentage is starting to creep up. We're taking some more walks, being a little more patient, chasing a little bit less. If you're not going to get a lot of hits, you can, score some runs in different ways if you're going to get on base and take your walks and hit by pitch. That's where you need the extra base hit to come into play every now and again, where you're, it's not a 2-out single that starts a rally. Potentially it's a 2-out homer, or it's a 2-out double followed by a 2-run homer, some of those things. So I think it's still in there. I know it's still in there, that we have the capabilities of being a better gap-to-gap type team, and we haven't seen that a whole lot yet. Hoping as some of these young guys get settled in, and Max Anderson's starting to trend in the right direction, and some other guys too, that maybe we'll see a bunch of guys get hot at once.
Interesting you mentioned Max, because I was going to go there next, and I said this on the broadcast. It's like a ticking time bomb. You feel like he's about ready to go off. Did you see signs this weekend that may be about to happen? Yeah, really good signs. He laced a double to right center, took a really good swing on Saturday, and then hit the Oppo home run on Sunday. Again, it's not just about the extra base hits, but again, for a guy like Max, who's more than capable of doing some of those things, it's good to see him draw a couple walks. Chip in here and there, and again, he's hitters hit, and he has done nothing but hit his entire life. So that odds say that it's coming, and it's coming soon. And I think there's definitely been some signs here of late that it's coming sooner rather than later. Last week we had a question for you about the leadoff spot. You went and put Bryce back in there this weekend, and you moved Cam up in the order. Talk about your decision to do that. Yeah, just going strictly by numbers. I mean, Bryce has the best percentage of getting on base as a leadoff hitter on the team, and it's not even close. So he was able to start some rallies for us a couple times.
on the weekend, and Cam Chick's on base percentage, I think, was over 600 for the weekend, so which is astronomical, obviously. And so he was on base a lot, to set up some innings for our 3, 4, and 5 hole hitters to try to knock down. So really feel like those two guys at the top of the order are going to have a chance to start some things for us, and it's just a matter of knocking it down. Garrett Anglem obviously did in a big way on Friday with 6 RBI. Obviously, you don't need that every game. You just need some guys to chip in 3, 4, 5, 6 in the order, to pick up their RBI, and the bottom of the order to get on base and kind of set it back up for the top.
You took better care of the ball this weekend, didn't you think?
Yeah, I think that was a step in the right direction. Kind of hitting the reset button as we talked about last week. Just, okay, what did we see in the non-conference season? I think we put our best athletes on the field defensively, and that helps. We only made 1 error, fielded 991. That's more, what we're capable of doing. Made some really good plays in there too, turned some double plays, and those type of things. So, I think that those are the numbers that we can hope to see moving forward, is that we're going to take better care of the ball, be able to run some balls down in the gaps in the outfield and that type of thing.
Text question for you: with Kyle and Jake both being victims of Tommy John and are both being knocked out of the season so early, is the procedure not being completed correctly, or does rehab need to be corrected or adjusted?
Well, it's a pretty heavy question. I don't. There's nothing that's indicates that it's anything more than just. It just happens in baseball nowadays. You see more and more guys that not only have Tommy John once, but it happens a couple different times. And we're still waiting to see what happens with KP. Haven't heard back yet on his MRI. Still waiting for just some final clarity there as far as what that's going to look like in Buns too. I mean, Buns is not necessarily a guy that we're going to lose for the season, as we talked about last week. So we'll see where we're at there. It's unfortunate that injuries are part of the game, and we were very, very fortunate last year. The entire year, we didn't have a single guy go down with an arm injury, which is unprecedented in these days. So, hopefully we can get some good news on both those guys, and then neither one of them have to go back and have any procedures done.
Thought you had some really encouraging outings from different players on the mound this weekend. Let's start with Jackson Jelkin, who came in Friday night through 2 2/3, only gave up a couple of hits. What do you think of Jackson?
Yeah, he's not afraid of the moment at all as a freshman. He's very competitive. He trusts his stuff, which I didn't think he really had his stuff of what we've seen from him at times. He didn't have really either breaking ball going. Changeup was just kind of a pitch to get him off the fastball, but I thought he looked good. He was on attack and not scared of the moment. It's a Friday night, very first conference game, and he does a great job of just kind of trusting his stuff and staying on attack.
Does he have enough tools to be a weekend starter at some point in his career?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. He has all the talent in the world that's necessary, and just durability-wise, he's a pretty, he's going to need to put on some pounds, get to make sure he can last 80 to 100 innings. I mean, that's what you're asking a college starter to do if you're in the rotation all year. So you got to keep growing physically, mentally, but the talent is certainly there.
The other guy I wanted to bring up is Braxton Bragg, who had a really tough start to begin the year, and you've started to work him in more and more. He threw 3 solid innings for you in that Saturday game, which allowed you to come back.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, nothing short of spectacular, honestly, since that first outing. I mean, he had a very rough first outing and was in the rotation. And like I had said before the year started, he was probably our most consistent pitcher for the last 6 months, and he didn't have a very good first outing, got demoted to the bullpen, and didn't take it as a demotion, took it as like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I've got to do to help the team. And he's filled up the strike zone. I think he's only walked 1 guy all year, and starting to see the strikeout numbers pile up. The slider looks sharp. The fastball's got life to it. He's been more 90-93 out of the pen, which is kind of what we expected to see him even as a starter. So, yeah, given us valuable innings, and again, we're still with some of these injuries that we've had come about, we're still trying to figure out some roles here at this point. Could he start? Absolutely. He's been kind of a reliever right now. Could he close? I think that's something we might look at too.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting how guys' roles may change within a season, and you're kind of doing that with Braxton a little bit. Because I think you thought, well, maybe he's a starter for us, and now you mentioned you might throw him in the back end.
Yeah, and it really goes to how does the staff best fit together. I mean, I have no doubt that he could go start and give us a good 5-6 innings, but what's that mean for the rest of the bullpen? I mean, who are we gonna bring out of the pen? Who's gonna have guys that have strikeout stuff and plus stuff and strikes and that type of stuff? So, he's a valuable piece of our pitching staff, and we're still, trying to put some pieces together with some of this youth that we're kind of having to thrust into the action earlier than we thought we might have to on the mound. We knew we were going to be young offensively, but we've kind of had to trial by fire with some of these freshman pitchers just due to some of the setbacks we've had with injuries.
Dawson McCarville. Boy, Coach, I thought it was going to get sideways on him in that second or third inning, and yet he ended up, I think, setting 9 in a row down and got you into that 6th inning.
Yeah, I thought he settled in and did a nice job. I would like to have seen him come out a little more on attack. I mean, he got us off to a scoreless first inning, which gave us that shot there to take the lead. There in the first when we loaded the bases, but the velo was a little down early in that game, quite honestly, from where he's normally at. And then as he kind of got going, you saw it start to tick up, and the changeup played up because of that. And I thought the slider was a little sharper because of that. So I'd like to see him have that stuff coming right out of the chute. Probably gives us a chance to throw a couple more zeros at the front of the game that allows us to settle in because, we're having to chase runs a little bit too much, and we're not really built to do that.
Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. It's our Nebraska Baseball Hour for the week. The head coach with us until the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of it, our phone lines are open, 402-413-2400. You can also use that same number to fire off a text. We're back with more with the coach coming up.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Successful farmers must make good decisions every day. In pivot irrigation, the choice is simple. T&L exclusive hydraulically powered pivot irrigation systems are like no other. You get tough, reliable, and cost-effective irrigation. Let T&L's 60 years of irrigation experience work for you. Call your local T&L dealer or T&L Irrigation Company today. T&L, like no other.
Searching for a new to you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
The Nebraska FFA is growing leaders
and building communities.
Together, we are strengthening agriculture.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation believes in our future leaders and the communities they serve. We believe in the future of agriculture.
Join us in the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. Learn more at neffafoundation.org. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be, member FDIC, and Farmers Cooperative, standing with those who grow.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month. Your last chance to save big on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But get moving, offers are ending soon. Get to the final days of Ford Truck Month. Maverick has limited availability. See dealer for inventory stock.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
The Huskers provide the best on the field, and so does Kubota. The new Kubota L60 Limited Edition Series provides the best package for affordability, quality, and comfort, like the deluxe Grand L factory-installed cab or spacious open operator station. Maximize performance with Kubota's best-in-class HST Plus transmission and many other features of the L60 LE Series. Experience the Kubota difference. Visit nebraska-kubota-dealers.com or see Rush Kubota in West Point or Rohr's Machinery in Beatrice.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It's our baseball show for the week. The head coach Will Bolt with us until the top of the hour. Huskers in action tomorrow up in Omaha to take on the Creighton Blue Jays. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. Let's go to the phones up to Omaha. And Mike, good evening. Mike, you're up with the head coach.
Hey, Coach. You guys lost some of the best players I've seen at Nebraska. I've been telling people that Schwellenbach, was that his name?
Schwellenbach, yep.
Yeah, I've been telling he's replaceable. But it's just going to take three great players to do it. I mean, this is not easy. But I got to tell you, in the last week, I've seen Bryce Matthews make three of the best plays I've ever seen. I mean, a home run to right, a big home run on a great breaking ball. Wasn't that a good pitch?
Yeah, that was a beautiful swing, and that, you see those glimpses from Bryce, in his maturation as a baseball player, and that's what he's got in there is some stuff that you can't really teach.
And there was a play up the middle on a sure hit, and I've been bugging you guys for years on the split step. He did a perfect tennis split step, but not many people can make that play. But the thing that impressed me the most was the bases loaded and he doesn't even swing the bat and get the walk. And I've been watching the Cubs for years, and they didn't have the mental strength to not swing at some of those pitches. I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that play he made up the middle, I believe that was the Corpus weekend maybe, where he dove up the middle and made the play with the bases loaded, came up and threw a strong throw to first base. And then, yeah, I mean, that the guy on the mound where he drew that 3-2 walk, he laid off the slider down. It looked like a strike out of the hand. It's their closer. He's throwing 93, 94 with a fastball with a really good slider. So that was a really big at bat there, in that moment, and a lot of maturity shown on his part to be able to lay off that pitch.
But I'm optimistic mainly because of this coaching staff we have, that these young guys that have to replace really good players are going to keep getting better, and the fundamentals will be there. But hey, one thing I'd just like to see more choking up with 2 strikes, because the guy that got the big hit on Saturday's game for Michigan, he choked up. And sure, it was a mistake, but he clobbered it. But I'd like to see a little more.
Yeah, you and me both. I'd like to see. We do choke up. I mean, there are off the end of the bat. I think almost every single guy does that. It's just a matter of being able to put the swing necessary on it, whether you choke up or not on the bat with 2 strikes. And a lot of it just comes down to a little bit to experience, a little bit to just trust your approach and have a slow heartbeat when you're in those moments with 2 strikes.
Mike, appreciate the call. He mentioned Bryce, and he mentioned Spencer, too. Do you think early in the year Bryce was trying to be Spencer? I mean, trying to go, I got to replace an All-American. I got to be really good.
I don't necessarily think he's trying to replace Spencer as much as you run into that sometimes with the second-year players, the sophomores, where there's more expectations there. And sometimes you see guys get off to slow starts, but what we've seen Bryce do is rebound from a really slow start to come on, and he's taking better swings. He's getting on base more often. Put him back at shortstop and took care of the ball pretty well this weekend. So Spencer was honestly one of the best defenders I've ever coached at shortstop, and he covered up a lot of stuff for us last year. I mean, his range was amazing. His arm accuracy was amazing. If it was hit in his general area, you were out. So it's big shoes to fill, but Bryce doesn't need to be Spencer. He needs to go be Bryce Matthews, and you're starting to see that.
It looks to me like Core Jackson's settling down as a fielder. I know he's been erratic at the plate, but it seems like he's making really good plays defensively.
Yeah, we've kind of rode him out there and run him out there at second base, to try to get some consistency in our lineup and try to get our best defenders out there. And he brings a left-handed bat. Did a nice job at second base. Made some really good plays. Went back on a little flare to right center. Made a really good play there. Turned some double plays. He's got a really strong arm, good range. And again, what you're seeing from him too is he started off not taking any walks either, and now he's starting to take some walks. And boy, that 10-pitch walk that he had on Friday was huge in that inning that we kind of took control of the game. So he's got a lot of talent. Again, just not any experience, and so just the more we run him out there, I think we'll find that return on investment the way we want it.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Crypto King in our YouTube chat wants to know, Coach, who would you say are your best effort guys that give it every day?
Well, I think Griffin Everett, is probably one that comes to mind. He catches almost every game, gives it everything he's got. He's going to dump it out there. And I think, we have a bunch of guys that give great effort. I mean, we're diving around on defense and, looking to, take the extra base when we can and those type of things. So, Griff kind of embodies that dirtbag mentality, and he's a captain, he's a leader. And, I'd say Garrett Anglam's another guy that brings a lot of energy to the field. And we saw that when he was redshirting last year. He's flying around in the outfield. I mean, he used pregame BP as his game day, and really just his effort level has been through the roof in terms of just preparation and the game. The game values that, it rewards that, and he's been a guy that has played awfully hard for us and had some results because of it.
Yeah, has had some really good at bat. I mean, it's not. He's had enough at-bats now. He's still hitting 360 plus. That's enough at-bats now. That's pretty legit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go back to the phones. Let's go up to West Point. Husker Dan, you're up next with the head coach. Good evening.
Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Great, thank you.
Say, I just want to comment. I seen Jeff Lisey was in the booth for Big Ten, and to see that, and then to see our head coach is Coach Bolt, I think that's just amazing. Their careers took off like they did. I've got a real short story about the Buck Belzer days. Oh my goodness! I was going to the spring game with my two little boys, and we were walking around the stadium by Buck Belzer there, and there was one baseball player taking like T-ball. He was putting a ball in the stand and practicing his swings. And we were walking by and kind of watching him. He kind of looked at us, and we walked by him. And he said, "Would you like a ball?" And I stopped, and I looked at him, and he threw it over the fence, and I caught it. And it's like, only if you sign it. So I threw it back to him, and he signed it and threw it back, and he gave each of my boys a ball then. And I thought that was just so cool. And I thought that was just like, he was just looking for attention. You know, the football team gets a lot of attention, and I just think baseball was just yearning for that. You know, and I remember that to this day, and I was like, wow, that was really cool. And I just think, I hope that wasn't you, Coach Bolt.
Was it?
Because I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't recall that story. You might have found me hitting off the tee by myself at times, but I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if that was me or not.
I just, I just want you to know that was pretty inspiring. My kids were Husker baseball fans after that, and I tell you, it just carried on, and it's like, it's really cool to see my boys grow up and just love the Huskers athletics all through, and you're part of that. I remember the dog pile. I remember the Buck Belzer. I wish I was still there. So many memories.
Dan, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. One guy who had a heck of a career, Buck Belzer, you honored yesterday before the game, and that was Ken Harvey. Yeah,
it was cool. He was honored to have that bobblehead. Best hitter I've ever seen in one season. I mean, I remember looking up. We're at Bricktown in 1999 at the Big 12 tournament at the time, and you got the batting averages up there, and he's hitting 500 at the very end of the season. A rare blend of a guy that he doesn't look like he's necessarily going to be real fast, but he could run. He could beat out those choppers on that Buck Belzer turf. The outfielders had to play deep so he could drop some balls in. He could hit the ball over your head and over the fence. Just a rare talent and just a great human being as well. And it was really neat to see him out there and honor him and get him back out there.
That was a really cool deal. Dan, appreciate the phone call. 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question. Time now for our Nebraska Lottery Husker Baseball Weekly Trivia Contest, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery. Each weekly winner is going to get $100 in scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. If you're the first person to text in, not call but text, 402-413-2400 with your answer. And if you have the first right answer, we're going to make you a winner. Here's our question tonight. Which Husker drove in 6 runs in one game this past weekend? If you have that answer, text it in, 402-413-2400. We'll make you a winner. More of the show coming up next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
And Burkhart grounds to second. Ibarra charges, flips to first in time. And Nebraska storms into Ann Arbor and sweeps a doubleheader from 19th ranked Michigan. They win the nightcap 7-4. After sweeping Michigan, Nebraska softball returns to Big Ten play when it hosts Rutgers at Bowlin Stadium this weekend. The series begins Friday at 5:30. Pregame at 5:20 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Sends home the 1-1 pitch. Everett hammers one to deep left center field. Backing up is Ryan. He's to the track. He leaps, and he can't make the play as he crashes into the wall. Banjoff scores easy. Scoring is Anderson. Cruising into third is Griffin Everett.
Tomorrow, Huskers baseball heads up I-80 to take on Creighton at 6:30 p.m. Central. Huskers Radio Network pregame coverage begins at 6 p.m. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development, From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Nebraska 811 says go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We're back with our baseball show till the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of it, 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line. I want to congratulate Ron. He was the first one to text in. Garrett Anglem had a 6 RBI game on Friday night for the Huskers in their 13-9 win over Michigan. Really good game. He didn't hit any home runs, but he had quality at bats. I think even one of the RBIs was a sac fly. Right. He just kind of did what he needed to do in those situations.
Yeah, the first the double that drove in 2 was with a 3-2 count right after we got a run taken off the board with the phantom balk call that wasn't with. So that was huge. He had another 2-run double, a sac fly, and he's been all over the barrel. Just been very, very competitive for us all year.
Happy with his defense?
Yeah, I think he's settled in. First time being a Division I outfielder, and he's settled in nicely. Done a good job out in right field.
Gary in Columbus, Coach, what do we need to do to cut down on our strikeouts? These unproductive outs are killing a lot of our innings.
Well, swing, first of all. It's kind of a fine line. With strikeouts, it's the more you talk about it, the kind of the bigger elephant in the room it can get to, and you can lead to some weak early contact if guys are scared to hit with 2 strikes. So it's always there's a fine line, especially with an inexperienced young group of offensive players, which we have. The key is in college baseball is putting the ball in play because especially as you alluded to in some of those run scoring potential opportunities, you make a college infielder make a play with traffic on the bases, in a tight spot. You don't always have to get a hit. So just protecting the plate. But again, there's that fine line. You don't want to just say, well, don't strike out looking, and then you start chasing a bunch of pitches. So just being more locked into a great approach. And that's the thing when you've got a bunch of young players, inexperienced players, first and second year guys up and down the lineup, at times you have some inconsistency, and along with that comes some of the 2-strike stuff.
402-413-2400. Again, the number if you want to be a part of the program. Tomorrow night, Huskers will be in Omaha to take on Creighton. Great rivalry, 2 good, solid programs. They're playing pretty good baseball. I'm sure you were a part of a bunch of good Creighton-Nebraska matchups.
Yeah, it's amazing to think this will be the first real official Creighton-Nebraska game since we've been back here in Lincoln. It's going to be fun getting to play in that ballpark and a couple of – it's just a good rivalry game. It's a healthy rivalry. It's a respect. I have a lot of respect for Coach Service and the job that he's done there with his program. And it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather cooperates.
You did match up with them in the fall. Is that right?
Yeah, we played in the fall. Yeah. I had a fall scrimmage. I was out for that one.
That's right. You were under the weather.
I had COVID. Yeah. So didn't get to coach in that one. So I still have yet to be on the same field with Creighton in 3 years.
Then it's off to Ohio State to play the Buckeyes. They only got 1 game in. They just could not play in Lafayette, Indiana this weekend. They couldn't get over that real field. You battled it a little bit yesterday. You were right on the edge of that thing to get started.
Yeah, I know a lot of that part of the country was dealing with snow and just some really bad weather. And it was, I think the real field, the rule in the Big Ten is it's got to be at least 28 degrees to start the game, and that's obviously for everybody's protection that way, and it kind of takes the decision-making out of the coach's hands too in terms of some of that stuff. So we were right up against it on Sunday morning with that early start. We'll look forward to getting – I hadn't been to Columbus. It's been a really long time. I was an assistant. I think it was 2013 maybe was the last time I've been there. So
good ballpark. Great
ballpark, good facility. Always got a lot of talent there at Ohio State, and it'll be a good challenge.
Rick in Omaha said baseball's a crazy game. Obvious progress that I saw this weekend. The future looks bright, both the rest of this season and seasons to come. Well, I know we rely on some key juniors and seniors. We have some really good young players. How do you and your staff identify not only physical ability but the mental makeup to play at this level so soon?
Yeah, it is probably the biggest separator in the game, and it's guys that you can kind of see it right away. And just because a guy doesn't show it right away doesn't mean he can't do it. But it just maybe shows that the learning curve may be a little bit steeper than you think. Like I said, you saw it right away with Bryce and Max last year, that they belong. I mean, they were right there, and they had a lot of upperclassmen help them along too, where they could kind of be role players at that particular time. But you look at kind of the intensity, honestly, is what you really look at for a freshman, the kind of the how to win awareness, we call it, especially specifically for the position players. It's are they willing to do what it takes to win? And those are things that you can't. Experience really helps you, get to that point. But at the same time, some guys just kind of innately have it. That's why it's been really impressive with Garrett. His very first, right out of the chute, just come out and played with his hair on fire. And he got to watch last year, and that helps. But you just kind of see it in a guy's face, a guy's mannerisms, body language. We've had some guys that have really shown some really good bright spots as freshmen this year.
Ben from Emerson, Nebraska wants a status update on Kyle Perry. Is Jake Buns close to coming off the injury list? Also, is there any chance of Shea moving to the Friday night role? I enjoy listening to the Husker games from the tractor cab during spring planning. Go Big Red.
Great questions. First one was Shea. That is definitely something that's on our radar. Having some of the weird schedule the 2 weeks prior, and then the doubleheader week that we went to Texas where we played doubleheader Friday, doubleheader Saturday, kind of put us in a weird spot for a couple of weeks. And Shea was 2 days short last week, and he was on regular rest this week to go Saturday. I think it's going to depend on how he feels, coming back this week. We make that determination whether we move him up a day or leave him on Saturday, or really what we feel like is best for the team, quite honestly. So he's been our most consistent starter. There's no question about it. Done a really good job, but that's definitely in the conversation with Shea there. The question about Buns, he's playing catch right now and feels pretty good. So he's kind of trending in that direction. Don't know how soon you'll see it. But boy, it would be nice to get that veteran piece back there in the bullpen, and Ethan Bradford for that matter too. I mean, he's a guy that coming into the season, I think we'd already used him 4 times in the early going, and he's thrown well, and so we need to get him back to he's feeling good playing catch, and Kyle Perry, like I said, I don't know anymore now. Unfortunately, he's just going to make sure he crosses all his T's, dots all his I's in terms of making the right decision for his health and kind of what he's dealing with. So when I know more of that, I'll let everybody know.
Ben, we appreciate you texting in from Emerson, and we're glad we can entertain you while you're getting in those crops here in the spring. 402-413-2400 to the phones. We go to Grand Island and Doug. Good evening, Doug. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. Looking at the other facilities in the Big Ten, what would you like to see as far as improvements or anything that you feel we need to be competitive or have that edge against the other schools? And I'll hang up and listen to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, and thanks for the great question. We have a beautiful ballpark. It's hard to believe it's 20 years old now, and it is still a beautiful place to watch a baseball game, and a beautiful facility to show recruits. Along with it being a 20-year-old facility, some of the things that come along with that is a lot has changed in college baseball in 20 years in terms of player development and locker rooms. We were state of the art 20 years ago. Now we've been passed by pretty significantly in a lot of those ways, and locker rooms aren't going to win you ball games. That's definitely not the case. But we don't have enough office space right now for our staff that we have. And back 20 years ago, you had the head coach and 2 paid assistants, a secretary, and a volunteer coach. And now you've had player development, director of operations. The volunteer coach. The office is just a little tiny closet, basically, is what it is. And I had that office 18 years ago, and the volunteer role has evolved through the years too, where Coach Marcuzzo, who's our volunteer coach, was a junior college coach, and he came to Nebraska as an unpaid assistant gain some great experience. So there's some things we need to do from an office standpoint and from a locker room standpoint. But, we've got some other things that we'd like to do too, just in terms of player development and kind of trying to centralize some things there where we're not spread out, even though we have great facilities across the street. Where football is, we'd like to have everything over at baseball. So player development wise, just trying to have a meeting room, have a place for the guys to eat, just little stuff like that goes a long way to kind of make sure that everything's all in one spot.
Rhonda is not in your same building. She's right next to you. Is she kind of in the same boat, feeling the same way?
Yeah, I mean, again, they have a great facility as well, but it's 20 years old, so there's some things that need to be updated and need to be renovated. I know our administration and Trev and everybody else is very supportive to do some things to get some of that stuff done. So hopefully we can see some of that start to come into place.
Doug, appreciate the call. He dialed us up on our Sports Sunday hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. Another segment to go with the coach. Still time for you to jump on. 402-413-2400. Back with our final segment with head coach Will Bolt next.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month. Your last chance to save big on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But get moving, offers are ending soon. Get to the final days of Ford Truck Month. Maverick has limited availability. See dealer for inventory stock.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help us with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. J.D. Power ranked Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region and #1 in price.
See Agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont, Katie Bargman in Columbus, or Janelle Moore in Holdridge.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. A few minutes left with the head coach, 402-413-2400. The number to dot us up with a comment or question, or if you want to fire off a text, we can do that as well. We're talking about Haymarket Park in the last segment. It was 33 degrees at game time yesterday, and I look out there and I see people on the berms, people in the stands. Every other Big Ten school would kill to have that crowd. Those were some hardy people out there yesterday, Coach.
It was amazing to see. We had a bit of a different morning in terms of our routine with the really cold temperatures. Both teams hit indoors, and when we're walking down to the dugout, and to see the number of fans that were there before the game, and knowing that it's an 11 a.m. game on a Sunday, first of all, and then with the weather the way it was, I mean, like you said, I mean, just have thousands of fans there at that. In that type of weather, I mean, it is a true testament to how hardcore Husker fans are, and I could not be, and I know our team could not be more appreciative of the support that we get.
Tracy in Omaha has a question for you. Do we have any Jackson Hallmark personalities on this team?
We do not. No, no. Jackson is one of a kind in a lot of ways, but no, I think every great team has some of those personalities where honestly, it's not even, you don't even have to be a big personality. You just need to have, you need to talk a lot. You know, I think that's great teams talk a lot. They're constantly communicating, whether it be about the game. It's just the more you talk, the more you take the focus from inward to outward, and those are some of the things it's harder to do when you're a young player, and it's when you're a young team and you're an inexperienced team, and those are things we've been trying to pry out of this group since the fall, where we kind of identified that we don't have some really strong personalities like we had in some of those captains that we had last year, some of those older guys that were going to really use their voices. So that's been a work in progress with this group to really use their voices, because really what that does is it just takes. Again, it's not an outwardly selfish act to be quiet, but when you are quiet and you just kind of tend to go internal at times, and when you use your voice, you really put the focus on your teammates. So that's something that we're continuing to harp on with this group, and will be a work in progress that way.
Another text question for you, Steve in Bellevue. Coach, has the scholarship situation in baseball changed over the years? My son was being recruited by Coach Dom at Creighton. He said at that time a lot of the full rides would go to the pitchers. Everything else was scattered among the position players. What is the current limits?
Well, we get 11.7 scholarships to divvy up. With the COVID year, it's changed a little bit where you can have more than 27 guys on aid, but you're stretching that number 11.7 pretty thin. So the average scholarship is going to be below 40%. So yeah, there's not full ride is kind of a doesn't really happen in baseball, and just about all of our kids are paying for school, taking out student loans, and getting some help one way or another. So yeah, I mean you try to you see it this year. I mean we went into the season and the pitching depth was the strength of the team, and it's really being tested right now. So you really try to put a lot of your money and scholarship allocations into the pitching, but yeah, it's a slippery slope. I mean, you try to balance, the draft on both ends. Your team, it's the incoming players, and 11.7. It's going to be 40% or less for just about every player that's on aid. But everybody's got to be at least on 25% if they're getting a penny of scholarship money. Very good.
One last quick question for you. Update us on Drew Christo.
Yeah, you'll see Drew. He'll throw tomorrow out of the pen, I'm sure. We're going to need him and some other freshmen to step up, and shown some progress. Drew had some ups and downs this fall. Got off to a little bit of a rocky start this spring, but he showed some progress last time out, I feel like, and going to continue to need to get him opportunities, because that return on the investment is going to be there. He's an unbelievable kid. Hard worker, great teammate. Success is right around the corner.
Looks
for him.
The part. Man, he's just a good-looking kid.
Absolutely.
Big. Well, good luck tomorrow. I know this will be fun. Fans always love this matchup, and then we travel to Columbus to see what we can do with those Buckeyes.
Absolutely. Ready to get after it again.
Thanks, Coach. Will Bull with us here tonight. Huskers and Jays tomorrow night, 6:30 up at Schwab Stadium. That's the old TD Ameritrade Park. They just changed the name of it. 6 o'clock for pregame coverage. It'll be Nick Hanley, Ben McLaughlin on the call for that one tomorrow night. We'll be back with another full Sports Nightly for you on Wednesday night. Thanks to Coach. Thanks to Tim for running the ship for us. Have a great night. Enjoy your rest of the evening.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Discover a bold new direction and drive Nissan. The Murano, Rogue, and Sentra are equipped with features that will exceed your expectations. Safety comes standard with technology that's got your back, so you can feel confident on the road. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase online or in person at Woodhouse Nissan. Choose your experience and find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to the 7th inning stretch, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call or visit soshvac.com today.
SOS to the rescue.